Welcome to The Long Road with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
And today we are house hunting again.
Yes, our final house hunting video. This one is the one where we're going to show you the one we actually chose.
Yeah, and the reason we're house hunting is because the one we were living in, the one we're in now that we're cleaning up.
Yeah, final cleanup.
Final cleanup day is because the owners decided they wanted to sell, and we did not want to buy this one. So,
and they did not obviously renew our lease, so we had to be out by the end of May since we didn't want to buy it. So we didn't want to buy it because we're just not prepared financially for a down payment on a house. So that's why we're still renting right now, is because until we have the 20%, we're not going to buy a house right now. So anyway, come with us into our new house and we're going to show you that. And then at the end of the video, we're going to summarize for you why we chose that one over the video that we showed last week that we will link wherever. And that one you can compare and you can see why we chose the one that we did at the end of the video.
All right, let's get to it.
So we are going into the front door here. Cute little design on the door.
Yeah. And we've already got some boxes in here.
Yep. As we had mentioned. As you can see, it's pretty big, and in our last house, which I will insert a little picture for you of how small the living room and dining room was there. You can see we're going to have a lot more space here. Our TV won't have to sit catty corner because it has a whole wall to sit on.
Yep.
And like tons of space there. This is a half bath. In the last house, we didn't have any, like it was, what do they call that? Where the vanity is just a sink standing and there was no cabinetry underneath. So we have place to put like toilet tissue and stuff.
Yep.
This just has like the, what do you call it? The electrical stuff.
Yeah. The breaker panel.
The breaker panel. Yeah, that's what I was trying to come up with. Pretty new washer and dryer here. The shelf is still too high for me, but we'll just have to set them here on the dryer top. But they're pretty new. In fact, this house I think is only 5 years old. I think was what the listing showed.
Yeah.
Yeah. A refrigerator. You know what's amazing about this? In our last house, one of the shelves was broken when we moved in, so we have all our shelves are actually intact.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. It will let you know when the water filter needs to be replaced. So that's cool. A pantry here, and then we just got to take that paint out to the garage, I guess. But you know, it's kind of like the one we have currently, except it's a little deeper, so we'll be able to fit a few things right there that currently we don't have space for in our house. Like my step stool, if anybody's ever noticed it sitting out in some of the videos behind us, it was because I had nowhere to physically put our step stool. There was no side between the refrigerator and freezer or anything, you know, and the wall or anything. So I had nowhere to put it, so it just sat out all the time. Okay, so this is the best part here. It's the kitchen. We have more cabinet space than we had in the other place. Also, in our last house, because we've really already started moving here, we had one drawer that was this length. But here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, plus this little one.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we had 2. We had these 2 in
Yep.
the other house.
Yeah.
But we didn't have any of these.
Correct.
So we didn't have any of these 4. So I'm so excited. A lot of the stuff that we had that always looked like it was kind of cluttered in our videos was because we had nowhere to put it. So So I got all these drawers.
Yay.
And also, I don't know if you can tell, but this is a really big countertop, and it's also pretty bright in here. So we're expecting our grocery haul videos and recipe videos to be much clearer and crisp. I'll insert a little footage from our current house so that you can see one of the reasons why we had dark videos, even though we had a ring light, was because they had archways in the kitchen and columns, and those would throw shadows on everything. So often, like, we were recording recipe videos at nighttime while we were making our dinner, meant those shadows were falling on the actual area that we were cooking, or whatever. So we're hoping that with the fact that we've got windows right here and everything is really white and crisp and clear looking, that's going to translate to much prettier videos. So I was really excited about that. And this again is a really long countertop. So our grocery haul videos will probably not be in front of a stovetop anymore. It's probably going to be laid out on the countertop.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna look way different, hopefully. Okay, so that is pretty much the downstairs. Other than we can show you the outside backyard in a minute. But let's go upstairs. So we did miss one thing when we came looking for a house that we did not think about. And normally we're on top of it. I felt a little uncomfortable because we were being toured by an agent instead of just being able to walk freely through the house. And I wasn't flipping switches. And so I missed that there's no overhead lights on this whole floor. So we're gonna ask them if they will let us put in some ceiling fans or something. And if they won't, then I guess we're gonna have to let our lamps be our light sources.
Yep.
So, but anyway, this is the master bedroom. Hey, look, Joel, there's USB ports there.
Yeah.
That's good. That'll be nice for bedtime. Walk-in closet. If you saw our video last week where we showed the other house, that closet was not this big. So we'll be able to do a little bit more with it. And one thing that helps me a lot is that we have lived in some places where the top shelf was higher than my height, and I couldn't actually put anything on the shelves. But in this one I could reach them, so that's good, because it made it really hard for me to fold and hang clothes when I couldn't even reach the shelf. Okay, this is the master bathroom. It doesn't have drawers like I wish, but that's okay. I can just get some, what do you call it? Little storage things to go underneath these cabinets to hold the stuff that I don't want sitting on the counter. And I'm pretty excited about that. You heard me say that in last week's video, probably, that I didn't want a bathtub that you had to climb in to take a shower. So we have a freestanding shower in here. I'm really excited about that, so made my day.
Yay.
So anyway, and it looks pretty new and crisp and clean. Okay, so that's the master. The actual master bedroom floor is much smaller than our current place, but our bathroom is 10 times bigger and our closet is bigger. So I'm willing to give up floor space for the bed if I have more room to put my stuff away, so that it's not all in the living room, out in the middle of the floor in the bedroom. This is our son's bedroom. Again, no overhead lights, but this is it, and he has probably enough room for his bed and his desk, because he's a college student, so he has a desk that comes with him, and he has an enormous closet, but that's good because he doesn't ever get rid of anything. So
Yeah.
And this loft area, we have a futon that we use for. Is it too dark?
I mean, it's kind of dark in that corner over there, but it's fine. It's good.
Now that really didn't help, man, did it?
No.
Anyway, we have a futon that we use for our son and daughter-in-law when they come to visit, and that'll be sitting there, I guess. Eventually, because our old couch broke before we moved here, and so we may be sitting on that futon for a little while ourselves downstairs, but eventually that'll end up here when we get a new couch. This is our son's bathroom, or the guest bathroom, or whatever. Pretty standard. Which he doesn't need a lot of space. So. And that is the whole upstairs. All right, so the only other thing that's left out here is our backyard area. Did I lock it?
Yep.
As you can see, there's just a big mound of mulch. We're gonna ask them if we can maybe put in some flowers, or if we can at least maybe put in some container with some flowers or something right there. Yeah, there's a storage thing right there that just we may put a few boxes over to the right side of that. We're debating over, I want to do a container garden, for some veggies, and either we would put it over there on that corner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see where I'm going.
Right there.
Or over here against this wall, or maybe both, I don't know. I mean, at different times of the day, I'm sure the sun comes over here. We have time before we even think about that, because the container garden season in Florida is actually more like September to February or so. So, because in the summertime, when most places in the country are growing veggies, they would burn to a crisp in Florida. So the growing season is different here. So I got time to figure out whether or not we can do that, but that is my plan for this area. We also have two lounge chairs.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
no, just
patio
chairs. Yeah.
That will probably be seated over here, because if you can see, we have a roof, and if it rains, the chairs won't get soaked.
Mm-hmm.
Which was a big thing was in our current house, was there was no overhang really, just a little tiny one. And so it rains almost every day in Florida, which means our chairs stayed wet all the time. And then the last thing is just a 1-car garage. Yeah, in the other house that we looked at last week, we could have put 2 cars in there. Oh, we'll be all right. And yes, if you see all the peeled paint on our car, this is a 13-year-old car, and it's hanging on.
It's paid for.
It's paid for. It's been paid for a long time.
Yep.
So anyway, as you can see, we still have a lot of boxes. Most of these were in the garage in the other place too, because we just don't have enough space right now for those, and they're things that we're not going to get rid of. I mean, most of it is either memories that we have, or Christmas decorations, or something like that.
5 boxes of running shirts.
Yeah. We are planning on getting Joel a running t-shirt quilt made someday, and so then all those shirts will come out of that box at that time. But anyway, this is the new house that we picked.
All right. We have the tour of the new place, and why did we choose the new place?
There were multiple reasons that went into why we chose it. A big thing for us is that we don't own a washer and dryer, and the new place had a washer and dryer. Mm-hmm. That was a big thing. We think it's been a while since we actually toured that first one, but we think it was about $40 to $50 per month more than the one that we chose. but the appliances were outdated. And so we were concerned that if the appliances were outdated before we moved in, that we were constantly going to be battling our landlord to get things fixed, like an appliance was going to break, and then we were going to have to go through this whole thing just to get the appliance fixed. So as you can see, we chose one that had updated appliances. Not that it would have been a deal breaker, but the kitchen that is in the house that we chose was much more, it was closer to a light source, which is good for recording.
It's more video friendly.
Yeah, it's more video friendly. And it just had more space for us to put our kitchen stuff away without it all being cramped and sitting on countertops, which if you saw old videos of ours, you may have seen things sitting out on the counters all the time. It's because we had nowhere to put it. So that was part of it, was the amount of kitchen space, the washer, the dryer, and the patio area. I was pretty happy about that. And was there other things? Another thing that wasn't a deal breaker but was kind of cool is this house that we did choose has a rec center with a huge pool that has lap pools, and he's trying to train for a triathlon, so he won't have to pay for any kind of fitness center to be able to go and do lap swims to prepare for the triathlon. So that was a great thing. Yeah. But yeah, the big thing for us was the washer, the dryer, and the updated appliances. Yep. Oh, and one other thing, the new place was pretty much the same distance to work as where we are, where this other house that we just moved out of is about the same distance to work for him, but the other one was going to be a longer commute. And since he is on call 24/7 or 24/6 or whatever, well, technically it's 7, because if something happened to the restaurant that when nobody was actually there, he would still be the one that would get the phone call from the security system. So it's really 24/7. But anyway, he's the one that's called. It would be easier for him to get there if he's only 2 miles away than if he's 5, 6, 7 miles. I don't even know I can't remember where that other one was. It was a further distance. I remember that. So getting closer was also another thing that made it a good choice for him.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for updates from us when we post new videos on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and sometimes on the weekends. Comment below and let us know about your moving struggles. If you've moved recently, some tips that you have that maybe will help some others as well. And
if you've watched both videos, let us know which one do you think you would choose.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's going to do it today for the Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
I'm Christy.
And don't forget, it's the long run. Give yourself a little grace.
Bye.